guys, I just want to let you guys know that I am still going to be making content and videos and whatnot of the Camaro, but with the video you're about to see contains footage of a Ford Mustang, which is my dad's. That Mustang was gifted to me just after his passing. So I want to essentially carry on where he left off at with performance modifications wise. So those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for as long as you've been, I thank you, and I will keep making footage of the Camaro, but I will start making footage of both cars. So it may not be 50-50 because here shortly we're going to start really tearing in that Mustang to get it essentially ready for a little more to be more legal on the track. It's still gonna be a street car, no different than the Camaro. But for those of you who watch this channel strictly for the Camaro, there will be another car on here. So, and if you go down to the bottom of the should be the bottom of this page, the channel, you'll see the other video or two that I have made of the Mustang, so you guys can get familiar with it if you'd like. If not, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to keep making essentially footage, like I said, of I'm going to keep making footage of the Camaro, and I'm going to start making more footage of the Mustang. So for those of you who are watching this channel right now, watching this video for the Mustang, and you did not know that I had a Camaro, it's actually my vehicle. I've had it since 05. I bought it. I purchased it just after I think got into basic training or graduated. So back in 05 is when I first purchased this vehicle, and it does not look how it looks. The paints remain the same, but body-wise and performance, it is not what it used to be. So that is a good thing. But I will show you guys a real quick shot of the Camaro and what it looks like for those of you who are not familiar with it, and for the rest of you, enjoy the Mustang. So here's the Camaro. And for those of you who don't know about the decal, this is the decal I'm referring to. So Road Racing and the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube icon. Those will be the new decals. So this, for those of you who don't know, is my Camaro. And yes, it does. Sorry for the mess. I've been doing a lot of stuff in here. The Pro Charger that I was talking about, and you'll see that in the video. Here's the inside. I was doing a little bit of the touching up on the welding. Just have the entire cage done. So it's definitely a lot more track style ready. Rear seats are still in. Everything's the entire interior will be in this car. Right back. My sponsors. And back to here. 420 or 430, I think, Stroud parachute. So, yep, there she is. So that is the Camaro. I'm sure you Mustang guys or Ford guys are happy to see that, but hey, to each their own. I thoroughly love my Camaro, but I also thoroughly love my dad's Mustang. So I'm going to do whatever I possibly can in my power and what I can financially afford, which, depending. I'm gonna have some fun. So, all right, guys. Well, on to the video. Hope you enjoy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
What you doing?
Going over the things on Dad's Mustang to see what I can and cannot replace and or add. Looking at the bypass system here on the vortex. Got this bypass right here. I like to be able to put a BOV and an intercooler on this, just because I've been spoiled by ProCharger, because all their kits, from your basic plain Jane, I think it's a P1 or D1, whichever one they have, the street version, automatically comes with a blow-off valve and intercooler. They're twins or a single intercooler, all the way up to the F series, and they come with the same stuff. But Vortec, and I know they're efficient, but I would really like to add a blow-off valve to it and or intercooler, if not both, but probably the intercooler would be out of the question. So thinking, I'm not sure how serious I am about it, but thinking of possible meth injection to keep it cooler. But I definitely would really like to add that blow-off valve, because I know that was one of the biggest things, one of the big things that Dad was kind of disappointed in, where my car made the whoosh sound and his didn't. So yeah, looking at that, and then we have, see, the extreme version. The extreme idea I had was essentially is taking apart the vortex system, everything that goes with this, and upgrading to a entry-level ProCharger. That way I know it comes with, because I'm familiar with the ProChargers, whereas the Vortex I'm not. So I'm asking a lot of people different questions about these things. I mean, a blower is a blower, centrifugal is a centrifugal, but at the same time, between Vortec, ProCharger, and I think it's PSI or PSY or something like that. I can't remember exactly the name of them, but yeah, they're just the ideas I have for what I want to do with the supercharger. I don't really want to keep it the way it is. I do want to add something to it, just not sure on what. And as far as the injectors go, those are already done. But when I talked to the guy who originally dynoed the car, the power it makes now is pretty much it. Just due to the fact that the block, I don't know, about 90% certain that it's a stock block. I don't think the person who owned this before put aftermarket block in this thing, because it looks pretty stockish to me. Now the internals I know are not stock, but regardless, I don't want to blow that block up. And I know from what I've been told, these blocks, I think, really are kind of rated for about 600 horsepower. Well, we're already pushing the envelope. So, I mean, besides that, the engine bay and whatnot, there's not a whole lot that I can really do extra. It's really going to give me a good bang for my buck. I consider the intake manifold, switching it out for a Holly, which is basically, it comes up a little higher. Everything's all ported on the insides and whatnot. Here's ported, and the ports to the heads, those are also ported as well. But I can't justify $500 to $700 for an intake that might only gain me 10 horsepower. That's just not that's not, to me, it's not good enough, and I can't justify spending that kind of money on that. But I know next week we have, pretty sure it's next week. Next week we have the cage coming. I think we got the cage from TRZ, or I know we went through several sites and we finally got the right one. So essentially, it's a let's see, 2, 4, 6. It's an 8-point that I do believe it can be also converted into a 10-point and or a 12. I'm pretty certain it's 10-point. All chrome molly. So the car will be getting caged, because the cage is on the way. So probably today we might go ahead and start taking a little bit of the interior out and just slowly getting it ready. Besides that, from the back to the front, the new slicks are in. I'm sure I'm not the only person having trouble getting 2810.5s. Those are pretty much, you can't, everyone's back ordered. So I was lucky enough to find 2810s. They're good enough. And I'm fairly certain they're CO7 compound, I think. They're not the stiff wall, they're the soft wall. Could be a DO6 Hoosier. So I got those at the house. And then we ordered new rims, front and back. The fronts are currently on back order. Go figure. But we're trying to find a couple different ways around that. So we're gonna purchase used, or go elsewhere and see if we can't find the same one somewhere else. So new rims on all four corners, and they're gonna be the billet ones.
Similar to what's on your Camaro.
Yeah, similar to what's on the Camaro. The colors will be exactly the same. So I really do like the rims on the Camaro. So the Mustang's gonna get the exact same ones. Besides that, cage, new slicks for the back, and then new rims are on their way. So eventually on Facebook I'll be posting this stuff up for sale because we'll need them. Now the one thing they're not gonna be getting is the front tires. Front tires don't come with. The rear tires you can have them. I won't need them. And they're 2810.5 Mickey Thompson radials. Besides that, there's a list to it. Then with the cage comes the seats are staying the same. We got
Harness.
2 harnesses, 5 points. Those will be here next week or the week after. Should be next week. See here. What else did we order?
I don't know. You ordered it all, not me.
Lug nuts.
Oh yeah, lug nuts. Those will be in this week, but
they're not crazy important, but you kind of need them. Those are a little important. But yeah, going through Jags for lug nuts was $100. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So I went somewhere else and found a lot cheaper than that. Same stuff, same ones. You're just paying for the name there. So I think I covered everything. Oh, the exhaust. So the exhaust we just had the car running, had it warmed up, and I got under there, and the Camaro I know front to back, top to bottom.
We built that car.
We built it, so I know everything. I know everything about that car. Dad's, it's a Mustang. That's all I know. So I have to really, truly, I've been doing research on what the engines can handle, transmissions can handle, engine stock 5.0, transmissions and aftermarket, I do believe, C6, 3-speed, full manual valve body, and it's got a blower on it, 2 fuel pumps. I know some stuff about it. I'm not dumb. But I don't know near as what I knew on the Camaro. So the mufflers are, I think, like a generic muffler. They're a Magnum. I seen when I googled them, came up and I had read that they were MagnaFlow, but the MagnaFlow Magnums don't look anything like the ones on the car. So then Christina found another set of Magnums that were a lot cheaper. Or I'm sorry, the names of the exhaust.
Race Magnum.
Is it Race Magnum?
Mm-hmm.
So I think from what we gathered on Google, the mufflers are pretty much a generic brand. They sound alright, but they're not what I'm looking for. And then also on this car also has H-pipe. So I'm fairly certain I'm gonna go with an X, just because she has the X on her Durango, and that vehicle sounds mean as hell. So And then with the mufflers, I run Dynamax race bullets on the Camaro, and those are hollow. There are mufflers, but they're hollow, and those for sure are going to go on this. And then I'll go ahead and buy a new set for the Camaro, so at least I can get the exhaust done. So the exhaust will go, of course, long tooth. Oh, these are actually shorties.
Yeah, they're shorties.
So I don't think I'm going to change the exhaust. I don't think I'll leave them the way it is.
Just
I'm trying to leave as much as I can the way Dad had it, but I'm also trying to change it, lighten it up for the style racing we're going to be doing. And not to mention, it's still a street car. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be some things as we go along. Hey, we may need to change that. Hey, this is going to be taken off. So, front bumper's going to be taken off. We're going to be taking some of this right here off. Not the core support or anything like that, but the front fenders taken off. The front bumper will be taken off. And seeing what weight we can remove. The rear did the same. You're going to do the same thing. And the only reason why I feel comfortable with that was because with the Camaro we've already done all this. So it's pretty much essentially just on a different make. But with the Camaro, it's more of both cars are still 100% street driven cars. Only difference is the Camaro is set up more for your I don't want to say your OG 28s or outlaw small tire cars, because I mean it might be the power difference between this car and the Camaro is a little bit of a difference there. The horsepower in this one is literally cut in half. It's half of what the Camaro made and is going to make again when it's done. So this will, I think, will the classes that I'm seeing a lot of. And I don't plan on running no prep with this thing. I don't mind the pour your own puddle races, but on a prep track. So this will probably be more of the what did Jason run? Do you remember? It was a street class.
Outlaws? No, not Outlaw Street.
Because you have a lot of the classes are there's outlaw small tire, something like that, and then
it was a street class. I know that.
Yeah. Anyways, this will fit a lot more into that street class where before your races you go on your cruise and you come back. You can't do a whole lot to it. No refueling. Can't pop the hood, whatever. You could just check your tire pressure and make that pass. This will fit into that class perfectly, just because the AC and power steering and whatnot. And that class you have to have it. So essentially, the only thing I'm doing to this car really is it's not going to get any faster. It's just going to get lighter.
Sound meaner.
Yeah, it's going to sound a lot better. The safety equipment's going to be in there, the cage and the harnesses, fire extinguishers already in there. Now we're going to be sending the transmission off to AJ's Transmissions. He does all the work on the transmission for the Camaro, and he's done a superb job so far. And I'm sure with this transmission, I've already contacted him, and he said he has no problem. Whether the car goes, I take the entire car up there, or I take the transmission out and take it up to him. He's going to go ahead and go through the transmission and essentially take it apart and make sure it's doing good, it's hanging in there. And we're going to go ahead and put the trans brake on there. And I was looking at some gear ratios. Might put some little more wider gear ratios in there. And converter. I don't know what brand converter is in this thing. I know on Dad's old sheet that he had, it states it's the 2500 stall. So I'll probably end up contacting Bubba at Perfect Converter, and probably next month or so I'll contact him. Or it might just be when I take the transmission up to Al's.
Yeah, they're not far from each other.
And because I had those two communicate when it came to the transmission, the converter for the Camaro, and how much power it makes, so on and so forth. And nice part about it is they're both friends. So they're communicating back and forth to make sure that converter is going to work great with that transmission. So that to me is extremely important, not just to have, you might have two different companies making your transmission or redoing your transmission, building it up, and then custom making you a converter. That's all fine and dandy, but if those two companies don't really communicate, or if you don't really know what you're doing, you kind of be kicking yourself in the you know what. So I just find it a lot better that, you know, just it was my luck that they are both friends, know each other, help each other out. So I'm gonna go and have Bubba get me a converter for this and match it up with the transmission. And after that, I think that should be pretty much it as far as the build goes. So yeah, I know I consider doing a couple other things to it, but that might be down the pike. I consider a new hood, but I want to focus more on the performance and then safety stuff first. And all the cool looking stuff can come later. But yeah, if you want to show the rims, what we have on there now, they're Weld racing rims. They're the Star, I do believe. Weld in the front, Weld in the back. And of course, they're going to be switching over to the black rims, black powder coated rims.
Silver and black.
With the basically, like right here, they're extremely thin, and everything's all black, and then right in here, they actually mill it out. And on my rims on the Camaro, it actually looks really, really pretty how they mill them out. And that's on all the way around. And when they do that, that brings out the actual billet in the rim. So, and then with the interior, it's your stock interior. Stock looking, I guess. Right, other than the shifter, or I think it's a first, or maybe a V&M.
B&M.
Okay. So, your ratchet shifter, and then your jack, and all your gauges right here. So I mean, there's nothing extreme about the interior. So other than the cage system going into it, I consider doing the steering wheel as well, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's it'll be coming along pretty quick, and it'll be done before we know it. So I'm looking forward to it. So I have
It'd be like a father-son thing for you and the boys to do.
Yeah.
Keep up tradition.
So I think it's be a little difficult to do two cars at once, but it's this car has more in it. I know it does. So I'm gonna put it to a test. I want to test this thing out and really push the limits of it without blowing anything up. So all right, guys. I'll keep you guys updated.
And we also got the new decal design done, so that'll come on the car too.
Yeah. So it'll be if those of you who don't know, the new one in the intro to this video, you'll see the road racing on there, and so we've been debating whether or not to go just the road race, the new decal road racing, the new logo, or because we have two of them. There's the road racing one, and there's the road racing with the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube icon below that. And I might just do that one because you put on the car and it gives you 3 different places to look at. So we might actually go ahead and go that route. So yep, I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching. If you guys have stayed tuned this long, appreciate you guys watching. So all right, guys, I'll catch you guys later.